Welcome to Bengals on the Brain. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry, part of the Cincinnati Bengals Talk YouTube network of cool people. But we're going to do something different today. We're going to watch the film together. If you can see it on the screen there, I assume you can. I've got Nick, our producer, here in the background. He's going to help with some questions and comments you guys may have while we're going through it. But I haven't watched the film at all yet. This will be my first time. We did a lot of talking and debating and going over things on Twitter today with the trade deadline. I'm sure there'll be some questions with that, but I would like to keep it mostly to what's going on the field here. There'll be another time to talk about that stuff unless, we look at like Mike Thomas dropping a pass and be like, what are we going to do at receiver? I get that. That's kind of, refers to the game there. But Nick will help with that. So go ahead and leave your comments in the chat and he'll filter them to me. But we're going to watch for the first time. And just the offense. I've got 32 minutes here. That should take us through the offense. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to stop. We'll draw on a few plays here. If anything is interesting, I'm sure there'll be some third downs that are interesting or whatever it may be. I skipped the first play. That was a penalty, if you remember. And it was, I don't remember what it was. They ended up going 1st and 5 after that. But I wanted to make sure we got past that. I don't know why we just froze right there, but why we got past that. And so this is the first actual play of the game. The Bengals are running inside zone here. It looks like with I keep pausing twice now here. This worked earlier, I promise. All right, we'll let it go. And see it from the end zone angle. They're going to pull Alex Kappa. It's really leaving Sione Takitaki here. I'm going to point with my mouse because I'm not going to pause for this. If you watch him come unblocked, I remember this from the game. He does a great job of knowing what the Bengals have run from here a lot of times. He's going to be the one to actually make it tighter and harder on the backside there for Mixon to follow. Alex Kappa, I think it really speeds up the entire process and just if you want more patience on that type of run and when you got a guy coming unblocked from the backside, you really aren't afforded that ability to do that. Again, I want to go back to this real fast. We talked about this so many times now. If you're showing cover 2 or at least 2 deep safeties, I should say pre-snap, Bengals want to run the ball out of it. Right? So they're in shotgun all the time now. So how do you run the ball and when do you run the ball when it's like this? Well, you do it when you can see 2 high safeties up there. Make sure I get back to that. You want to do it when there's 2 high safeties, but if you're a defense, you're going to switch it up at the snap. And you're going to do so. See here if we can get it to roll. Right at the snap, this guy's going to come down because he knows already, all right, they're going to try and run. Let me run down in there. And come on. And he's the guy who eventually makes the stop. So T. Higgins has to come over. The receiver's got to see this pre-snap as well. We don't see him on the screen here. He's on the left side. But Higgins has got to come up and get 22. If he sees him jetting up like this as fast as possible, he's got to be even faster and go get that guy. So he even sees it. You see where he's kind of bouncing and dancing on that. He knows that he's got to be a little bit more efficient, a little faster, a little bit more aggressive getting in there and getting that block. So we give a lot of crap to Joe Mixon about not breaking tackles. I mean, he got 2 guys there, one-on-one safeties that make the tackles. But at the same time, you have 2 blockers that are supposed to be coming up to make it at least harder on that guy, and they were unable to do it. Why were there so many checkdowns in the flats, right? At the snap, they rotate into a cover 2, Tampa 2. So we got 2 deep safeties. As soon as you see this middle linebacker flip open his hips to the side that has more targets. So if you got 3 targets on this side, they're always going to end up opening to that side, 2 on this side. So quickly, it's either you're going to attack down the middle of the field here, maybe these hole shots, or you're going to check it down. And Burrow processes extremely quick, says, okay, I'm checking it down, giving Mixon an opportunity to run with the ball. And you'll take this. I think they got 6 out of this play. You'll take 6 every time. It's an extension of the run game. It shows them that you will check it down and Mixon can gain positive yardage because that eventually brings those corners up a little faster, makes that hole shot a little bit wider, and makes all the throws down the field a little bit wider. So, that's why you see that quickly, and especially early in scripted drives. What are they trying to do? What are they trying to accomplish? They're trying to see how the defense is going to react. How much cover 2 are we actually going to get? And will we show that we will check it down? Because that is part of it. they're going to show cover 2 at the pre-snap, and then he's actually going to drop down. Again, much like that run play, he's just going to go, no, I thought he was going to man him up. So it's just a missed throw by Burrow here. I think he sees it too. He gets hit from the backside. I think this is one where they take his legs out. But still, he should probably complete this pass. I thought he was efficient for not having much time in the pocket and really not having Jamar Chase. Yeah, he should have hit that. I'm sure that's one he would say he should hit. So they rotate into a cover, anything with an odd number, 1 or 3. So if you're covering 2, cover 4, usually that means middle of the field is open. If they rotate to 1 safety in the middle of the field and drop the other guy down, that means usually that you throw towards the boundaries. It's not under 100% because sometimes there are shot plays you're trying to get a hold of, or trying to think things you're trying to design or trying to show. We talked about it last week. Every time they go empty and put the receiver out wide, a lot of times you end up with a linebacker or safety. This time it's a linebacker, which is good. It means it's man coverage. If they walk a corner out there, it means it's zone. And it's goofy the way defenses do that. You would think you just switch between that linebacker and that corner, but they don't. So it's bringing that safety up, bringing them back. What's he doing? It's cover 1 or at least 1 deep middle. It's middle of field closed. So you want to go to the boundary. So right now, Joe Burrow knows where he wants to go with the ball. And he knows he's got Chris Evans with a linebacker, and boom, turns, sets his feet, and throws it. So basically, it's a pre-snap, post-snap check on the safeties. If you ever want to, really, Tony Romo, when he started doing his commentating, I felt like this guy's a wizard. And really, once he showed what quarterbacks are reading a lot of times, especially in his offense, is why he's applied it to a lot of his knowledge is pre-snap, post-snap is reading the safeties basically. Is it middle field open or middle field closed? And if it's middle field open, like I said, you try to hit that. If it's middle field closed, you try to go to the boundary. So it's really just, okay, 2 safeties. Let me take the snap, look at the safeties. Only 1 in the middle of the field, throw it down to Evans, who makes a great play. Gets 2 snaps. One of them's a huge explosive play, right? And we spend the rest of the game frustrated about why Evans doesn't play more. At least I do. I'm sure you guys do as well. Bengals had a good first drive. This was the should have been, would have been holding call on T. Higgins. I'd like to see it again real fast. So I wondered, did they rotate? Yep. It's quarters. That's why we can't see here because this will go away. Quarters, basically, they're all going to play a man. You have 4 deep safeties in quarters. If any of these routes run past the linebackers, the secondary picks them up in man coverage. If not, they got their quarter. You divide it into 4s. So as Higgins runs one-on-one with this guy, and you got Boyd going past the linebacker here, turns into man coverage. You got Boyd with a safety, one-on-one with Higgins. This guy just pulls him at the thigh pad completely. Should have been called. But again, at the same time, I made the case on Twitter that because Higgins is not overly explosive, like if you tried to grab Jamar Chase at the thigh pad, it's not going to work, right? Because he bursts right through that. He's too strong. He's too fast. He would just run right through that guy's grab because you don't think guys try to grab him all the time. He doesn't get many pass interference calls because he just blows right through it. It affected Higgins a little bit too much. I thought Higgins to start this game was a little bit soft on a few routes and contested plays, looking for the flag rather than just being a big body and doing it. When he ends up mossing this guy later in the game, that's the Higgins we know he can be. So again, we got 1 safety in the middle of the field. Nope, they're dropping. So you're showing 1, going to the other. Should be middle of the field here, or check it down. He ends up checking it down really quick to Mitch Wilcox, who's playing way too much for a guy that's probably a practice squatter on most teams. But that's what injuries do at tight end. They got in the situation. I'm sure they wanted to draft tight end last year and ended up not getting to it. I'm shaking my head if you're watching the video because I'm watching Jonah Williams here. I don't want to just go over plays. I like to do some player evaluation as well. Thomas ends up getting a sack later. So are they only rushing 3? Does 96 come? No, he's spying. Man. The way he just gets bent back, though, yeah, he ends up, like, overall, this is fine. Like, he would say, and probably their coaches would say, he did his job here. He didn't let the guy get to the quarterback. But as an evaluator, I would say, this is a precursor of what's to come. He just doesn't look strong right there. He doesn't look like he can really anchor and just stop the momentum of the pass rusher. And I think that's largely his biggest issues right now. I actually want to do a video of all Jonah Williams sacks, because I think it might tell a story. It might give you an idea of what he struggles at. I like to do that. When Game Pass used to be able to have a search function, it was so nice to be able to just type a guy's name in and see his splash plays, or you could look for third down throws, you could look for interceptions, passes defense, whatever it may be. And I'll go back to this. Yep, they're dropping in the cover 2 easy. These little hooks and slants, like this is wide open. Anything versus cover 2, you can hit these little, I said middle hole shots, but you also have these right here for like 4 yards usually. Slants and just like curls and hitches, and good job by, that sound is a route. That's sitting down in the hole in the zone and finding guys open. Let's watch the line real quick while we go to the tight angle here. Smaji P. Ryan. So does those 33 end up coming? Yeah, they were right. Good job by P. Ryan. That's why he's out there. Does this end up being the interception? Inside the 30. Couple guys in motion. Zone coverage. Damn. So is this a real RPO? Let's watch the O-line. If the O-line, see, I would say it's a pre-snap because nobody's on this guy. I mean, what are they even doing here anyways? No, that doesn't look like, this looks like a pass all the way. But good job. And I think that's, because it's not a real RPO, that's what told Myles Garrett not to rush and just get his hands up. Because Jonah Williams looks like he's pass blocking. See from this angle. See when he reads Jonah or the other O-lineman. Yep, kick step right away. Yeah, he sees it right there. He's got his eyes on the quarterback. He's not even rushing. He's defending the run, if anything, and then jumping up for a quick pass. That's the thing. The Bengals are going to have to they've run a lot of quick RPO play action out of gun and then quick passes over the middle, which works and will work. You know, the slants to Tyler Boyd and things like that out of gun. But what that's going to do also is if you see any type of run action, you might as well just play the run, and if he keeps it, jump up and try and get in the passing lane. So that should have been points on the board. I think this game probably goes completely different, very similar to the last few Browns games. The game probably goes much different if you can get a lead on them, but you can't. I'm going to go back a little bit here. Let's see what they did. If anything, maybe hold it and get to there. But again, Burrow's internal clock is a little bit sped up and trying to get the ball out as fast as possible. Good rotation by the Browns late. Yeah, he just jumps right up. He scanned the field too. See, that's the thing excuse me, I'm bumping the table there. Can I slow it down? No. Watch Burrow scan the field here. So he checks that safety, comes back, nope, to the left, goes back to the middle, goes to the right. Because he probably could have hit Boyd here if he wanted to, but he is so fast through that. It helps them a lot. If you wonder why they're not calling these 3-yard throws or these 3-yard checkdowns or 3-yard dump it off to Mixon or P. Ryan in the flat. He just moves so quickly. Like if what they called isn't there, he's going to check it down. It's one of the reasons why we're so critical the first couple of weeks for him not getting to his check down fast enough, because what we have seen him do before is get to it quickly. So they're showing 2 deep safeties. It looked like only 2 guys were out on routes. What happened here? So they switch it. Okay, so they're hooking up here, and I can't see what's going on down there. There's just not enough going on. They're doubling the only guy on this side. These guys are hooking, and I can't see what's happening because of this. Oh, I just ran deep. And you're not throwing it to Mike Thomas at all, as we can see. People wondered how Jonah Williams still got a 53 almost grade on PFF. It's because you throw 40 balls and give up 4 total pressures. He had a terrible day, but there are some times where he was perfectly fine. It's just his consistency is the biggest issue, I think, with him. So now it's 3rd and 10 after a couple quick dump offs, right? Bengals and gun again. Browns are showing one single safety. I'm assuming they're going to rotate because they're showing it pre-snap the way they are. Yep, rotate cover 2. And this is let me see if I can get this to disappear. Come on, can I move this thing? This is that beautiful throw where he comes back up. So it's just cover 2 again. And it looks like Thomas, I think this is, or is that Higgins? But he's going to run all the way upfield, whole shot area. And it's just a risky throw. Like you can't come back there. It's either whole shot or let him come in front. And the reason that corner jumped up and wasn't in position to really intercept it is because he followed Higgins a little bit. Normally I don't have this. See, the box disappears and comes back. There it is. Nick, do we have any questions in the chat?
Yep, we sure do.
What do you got?
Let's hit the first one here. This is from Jake Money. He says, hey, Joe, do you think it's time to look at replacing Frank Pollock, or do you think Zach Taylor's scheme is just bad? Who do you think is the main problem?
I think it's a mix of too many cooks in the kitchen, to be honest with you. I believe when they brought Frank Pollock back and gave him run game coordinator, he is a wide zone coach. That's great. Like if you look right now, great example. We have perfect timing, okay? He's a wide zone coach, but that stuff really only works under center. And I don't think Burrow can throw under center. We watched him at LSU. We watched him his rookie year, because that was a COVID year. They had to implement the offense as fast as possible. Like you could see the divide right away between like the wide zone Rams offense and then the shotgun stuff that Burrow liked. And so when you get him under center, Burrow looks worse. So what are you going to sacrifice? Burrow looking worse or Mixon looking worse and the running game looking worse? And I think they ultimately sacrificed the run game looking worse and said, all right, get rid of the zone blocking stuff and let's do more man gap scheme out of shotgun and go from there. And I think it's the right call and it works, but it just means that they don't have a full and robust run game and playbook. Nice dual block here. And then what is that? Is that tight end collapse in that? Or is that a receiver? That's 86. That's Asiasi, finally. So I just think it's still a work in progress to get the running game completely. Does that mean Pollock deserves some blame here? I do. I think the word on Pollock probably remains true, and I wonder about his value now. What the word on Pollock when he was coming from the Cowboys, from people I knew in the Dallas area or that covered the Cowboys, was he's a good X's and O's guy in terms of getting everyone on the same page, getting them to work as a cohesive unit. He is not a great developer and guy that will teach technique. I think we've seen that. I think if you're not going to run wide zone, then where's his value? So, yes, I do believe it's time to have the conversation and at least discuss if he should be here next year and, going forward.
Well, that's the perfect segue to the next question, Joe.
Great.
This is from Andrew. He says, why do you think Jonah has regressed? Yesterday had to be his worst game in NFL.
Yeah, it probably was. To give up 3 sacks, that doesn't happen too often. I don't know why Jonah has regressed because they're still like the Falcons game. Now they don't have a great pass rusher, right? But this is just last week because I was going to say the knee thing happened versus the Ravens. So maybe that's bothering him. But the Falcons game was maybe one of his best games of his career. Completely clean, perfect what you want from a left tackle. And then to go to this drastically in the next week, is the difference just Myles Garrett? I mean, he is that good. Myles Garrett is that good that, yes, it could just be that. But then he also gave up a sack to the Isaiah Thomas rookie. I mean, that shouldn't happen, and I don't know why. I think the overall issues, you got to remember, you got to go back to Jonah Williams and remember who he was as a prospect. He was supposed to be very safe, very clean, but not your prototype type of size or athleticism for an offensive tackle. He looked like a guard if you just looked at, like, he looks like the smallest guy on the O-line. And he's not a great athlete. He's just an okay athlete. So he better be a master technician. He was known for being super smart, keeping like spreadsheets on guys that he goes against. And if he hasn't developed as that master technician, because you see these plays. If I think the first sack, I'm like, that's horrible technique, first of all. Just being me, not being an O-line coach or anything, and these guys may disagree, but we'll get to it. And you wonder, like, what do you – like, this is the sack. Perfect. You wonder, like, how does this happen to this guy if he's supposed to be – if his only chance to be a Pro Bowl type tackle is to be a master technician, how are you having these lapses? Like, that should be his main focus. So I don't think he's big enough. I don't think he's strong enough. I don't think he's athletic enough. And then if he's not going to be a guy that's completely heady and sound – now, we're going to look at this. The Bengals or the Browns are showing we talked about this plenty of times, sugar in the A-gap, meaning potentially we could have blitzes coming up the middle, and we diagrammed this whole thing. Like, how do you block this? Because we also see this fellow out here. That's Clowney out here. But how do you block it if you've only got 5 blockers plus your running back? Well, you start counting the guys first from the inside. So these are your first 4, and this guy's down. So 5. Do you say, okay, these are our 5? And then if he comes, you've got him? Or do you say if he comes, you should expect Clowney to come. So you got to pick probably one of these guys, 55 or 33 is not going to come. And that's when you start hearing them call Mike 55 or Mike 33. I think it's 55. I don't know who that is actually. And that'll tell them who the 5th guy is here. Can I hit play or no? Oh, let's get them on this. So they drop out. This guy drops out. This guy drops out. This guy drops out. They really only rush 4. You've got 5 blockers. Once at this point, you've all seen, okay, they're only rushing who they've got. To be honest with you, Samaje Perine should probably get the hell out of here. He's going to come in and chip. Like, there's probably no unnecessary. If anything, go like super wide and chip. And this is how Bengals Sands mentioned this as it happened on Monday night. And he goes like he would rather have Samaje Perine just walk out over here and just block him so that Garrett's got to take on that block and then rush again. And by that time, Jonah Williams can set up and be ready and perfectly ready for it, right? But it's the sugar in the A-gap, the 2 guys in the linebackers here in the A-gap. The Bengals always bring Perine back in or as the up back. And I think at this point, teams know it. So they're saying, okay, we're going to mess you up a little bit. That'll keep the chip away from Myles Garrett and allow them to get that rush, especially at a wide technique where these edges are, especially Clowney, man. He's going to get a free running, 5-yard head start at La'el Collins. But so what you get here is confusion between Jonah Williams and Samaje Perine. Looks like Williams is not expecting Perine to chip because you would not lean this far outside. Like if you're expecting him to chip, you should be more patient here, sitting and waiting because he's going to get something off of him, take some speed off him. Look where his feet are. He's got one pointing this way, one pointing this way. He's going to take some speed. And we know that it wasn't taking speed off him. He was setting up a spin move. But Jonah's eyes are down. His hands are inside. He's leaning. He's almost running in this direction. And boom, clean spin. You did nothing to help Perine, not to put fault on him here. He's just trying to help. But like at that, once you weren't picking up one of these blitzers, it seemed like he didn't expect the chip to happen. So was there anyone open? Let's go back actually, because I want to see if anyone was open on this play. Because that's always the second part of it. But oh, they did have an up back. Did I miss him completely, or did they get him out of here? Jesus, they did have one. I didn't even see him hiding behind. And we got deep coverage over here. Jesus, Higgins and Boyd on that side. It makes sense. Yeah, there's no – by that time, that you can't even tell if someone was open or not. No. Good God, no. They ran their normal – it wasn't Higgins is down here. They ran their normal up-the-seam dig.
Well, Perine would have been open.
Yeah, right. It would have been the check down. Right, exactly. So if you're not hitting the middle of the field and the cover 2, you get the check down real fast. But that was 3rd and 10. So, again, if they're leaving Perine –
but he had plenty of space if you look at it.
I'll go back. Maybe you got the first down.
He could have maybe beat a guy one-on-one. You never know. Probably not.
Yeah, maybe.
Not with the way the last night went.
Yeah, I know, right? And we talked about how many times Mixon's getting tackled in the flats one-on-one. We'll get to those again. So we're back to first down now on the next drive here. Oh, sorry, guys. Thought I was on mute here. don't remember how they got the ball to 48. Was that a shanked punt? Was that they get a turnover? I don't remember.
That was probably the Cooper interception.
You're right. That was a fun play. I see. I want to watch the defense now. No, I don't. But that was a fun play. I want to see how these guys do here. So they're pulling guys this way. I wonder if he's reading this middle linebacker, 54. And he sees the way he overruns right there. Yeah, that cutback is there. If he's reading 54, which it looks like, look at his eyes. He's either at 99 or 54, probably reading up the middle either way. That cut's kind of too slow. It's got to be cleaner. Let's see. I want to watch Kappa to see if he can handle this guy here. Oh, it wasn't. That was Karras. That's why. No, it wasn't, because then Volson came over. So no one really gets a clean block there, but I think that cut could be cleaner and quicker upfield. Because that middle linebacker dove inside hard. Because that was very similar to the first run we had on how we started the game with Kappa leading the way.
The run game. Speaking of the run game, do you want to go with another question here?
Sure. What do you got?
This is from Roshan. He says, do we need Mixon if we are going to go pass heavy?
It's a good question. Mixon should have been a good pass receiving back. He was really good at Oklahoma. He's never looked like he's taken a full interest in blocking, though. And I think that hurts them a lot because they want to be able to use a guy like that. So I think we're all getting to the same question with Mixon. The Bengals can save $10 million if they make him a post-June 1st cut next year with only a $2.5 million cap hit in 2023. I think whenever that contract was signed, we all looked at it as when's the year they could get out of it because, we're all weary of running back contracts, and it is next year. Is he a great fit? Probably not right now. No, I think he probably is a better wide zone runner right now, or he probably has been in his career. And the Bengals, if they're not going to do that and be a shotgun running team that's going to pass it 75% of the time, no, they probably don't need a guy making $10 million, and that demands to be pretty much in the game all the time. We can't get Chris Evans on the field. I think some of that is because they pay Mixon so much and value Mixon so much. Not that that's a bad thing. He's been a great player for them. But, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think the fit's great here. So this is I just said you got to get more play action or more deeper shots off these play action from shotgun because they're starting to – you see how the rush even stopped kind of? Like, is this going to be an RPO situation again? Jonah's got his man locked down. I mean, again, there's 4 pressures out of 40 passes. It's going to be a terrible day, but there's also a lot of clean in there. He's really killing this guy there. But they've got Boyd coming underneath or digging across the middle. They've got Thomas coming back across here. Everything is wide open. He even double checks here. I think he's looking this way first. You got 2 guys jumping on Higgins. And this is the Mike Thomas blatant drop, man. You'd have been at the 34-yard line, maybe more. There's no reason for him to even be on the ground. This play drives me nuts because it leads to 3rd and 8, I believe. Let's watch the O-line. Got a little pause there. Yeah, I like watching Burrow's eyes on this. He wants this deep ball or coming back to Boyd. Okay, so he's reading right here. I don't even know if he's actually reading it. And then it looks like he's checking Mike Thomas, checking the safeties. 1 safety in the middle of the field. Goes back. We got Higgins deep. Come up to, this is probably next. This is where Boyd's coming across right now. Yeah, I see him double clutching, kind of get it into this window. Is this guy going to keep carrying deep towards Higgins? And then he comes back to Thomas, who's clapping. I'm open. Oh, damn it. You don't clap for the ball. That's like Randy Moss waving the arm and you drop a deep ball. You can't do that. 3rd and 8. Can you feel my disappointment, Nick?
I can. That's mine too.
Yeah.
I spent the day at work trying to remember the last time the Zach Taylor beat the Browns.
Has he?
That's the other thing.
It had to be the first 2019 when it had to be. And I don't remember that year too well anymore. I feel like
that was probably the last year that.
Yeah, because they didn't beat Burrow's
Freddie,
never beat
when they beat with Freddie. What was his name? The Browns coach, Freddie
Kitchens.
I think that was his last game. We beat him and he got fired. I can't remember if that was Zach's first year or not.
Man, see, like this is another one. So it's P. Ryan. They like P. Ryan because he can pass protect. I get it. But I said this on Twitter. He does nothing else well. And people are like, oh, he hits the hole hard. He runs hard. You can find a million guys to hit the hole hard and run hard. What does he do actually? Like, here's the point where it's like, all right, if this was Chris Evans, let's say, if he could pass protect. If it was Joe Mixon, he could pass protect. Like healthy young Joe Mixon. And you're one-on-one with this guy. This guy's completely on Higgins, like eyes on him. This guy's following this guy. Like, make this guy miss, man. It's 3rd and 8. Do something. Make him miss. When people talk about like play calls, like, oh, there's no play calls. Like that. You want a guy. You want your running back with this. I assume it's a safety. I didn't see where he came from. But you want your running back. Yeah, because they blitz. Good pickup then. On a safety, one-on-one with 15 yards of open field between them, on side to side, and he can't make a play. That sucks. Is that execution or is that play calling? I want to see the blitz pickup. Because they did send these guys from the side. Hey, they sent 5. You see Karras just plant that guy. 54. Any questions?
A lot of disappointment.
There's no questions to be had there.
Yeah, a lot of disappointment. But
I
did get this one from Brian.
Okay.
This is also another running backs question. Why did they not go to Evans again after the one play that was successful?
We touched on Evans after the last preseason game. So remember, he was in the preseason playing a lot in the last one. And we're like, oh, no, this is not a good sign. But we also talked about his running being such a wild card and bouncing things out before he's supposed to, not really following his holes. Sure, it can create explosive plays, but I bet coaches hate that shit. And, like, how do you play over 2 veterans like Mixon and P. Ryan? P. Ryan, who's going to hit the correct hole. Mixon, who has been your lead guy for so long, for a guy who doesn't technically do everything you need him to do. So I think that's why they don't play him. And then they obviously must not trust him as a pass protector. But it's also
what do you think about his kick returns? I wouldn't say he's been spectacular there either.
Yeah, he didn't even get to kick return one until the Baltimore game, I think it was the first time all year. So I think that's part of it. You kind of get a little antsy and want to create some stuff. Plus, I don't know. I think he should be good at it. I think he will be fine. It hasn't changed my evaluation yet this year. But, like, I looked at, like, the Nyheim Hines trade or, like, him being available. I think he would help your team. He's a good pass catcher, a good third down back. Can make guys miss. Was this on third down? I don't remember. Yeah, 3rd and 1. A lot of people wonder if the Bengals should just be under center, quarterback sneaking on 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1's a great time to throw the ball because defenses are going to bring everyone up. You got one deep safety here. I wonder if they bring this other guy back. He's leaning. Come on. He's leaning. This is maybe Peyton Manning reading that guy, knowing he's dropping back. I'm going to say he drops back. He's on his heels. Oh, yeah. So it turns into a cover 2, man. Damn. And you got nothing over the middle of the field. See, that's what I end up disliking. Is because I would want something always for over the middle of the field. But, again, he's turning to his number 1 receiver, Higgins, here. Because you could probably hit Hurst. You could, I don't know what Trent Taylor ends up doing on that side, just hitching up there.
3rd and 1, right? Yeah,
3rd and 1, right. So, like, you could hit that. But, like, why isn't anyone in the middle of the field here? So you end up hitting I'm going to go back and try and get this off of the screen here so we can watch Higgins run his route. This guy's shaded inside also, so you already know. Damn. And you
correct
just
me
need
if I'm wrong. Correct me
ahead.
if I'm wrong here, Joe. And I'm sorry to interject here.
No.
They've been talking about all these cover 2 shells, and when they see cover 2, we've got to run against it. It's 3rd and 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. The only hesitation they probably have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, your D line, and then this guy being right here. So you would need, and then you've got this, he's inside. Man, with the leverage being inside right here, that's an easy out route. I'm surprised Burrow didn't just turn to Hurst and hit this with the leverage. Like, that's things you read. So you got pre-snap, you got safeties. Where are they? Who are my potential blitzers? And what do the leverage look like? Are they leaning in terms of zone? Are, facing the quarterback at times? Are they leveraged inside, outside? Because it's going to say where their help is. By being inside, just like the other corner, it means middle of the field is going to be open. Like, already, you know right there. This guy's leaning and he's inside. They're protecting the middle of the field because they know they're leaving it open in cover 2. Like, so I'm surprised Burrow didn't just go bink and just hit Hurst. Instead of a curl here, this guy's going to be sitting right on it. He's got over top help. Why wouldn't he sit on it? Yes, I want Higgins. I was critical of Higgins on Twitter.
Play that back.
Yeah, I can. You want to watch Higgins or from this
I
angle?
want to look at the pocket again. I almost wonder if Joe could have ran for it.
Yeah, that's true, especially man coverage. He likes to run it in man. Where does 51 end up going? Does he come? He's following B. Ryan.
Look at that hole. Man.
Yeah, he probably could have if he wanted to step up right there. If he would have made that decision, and he's done that plenty of times. We've seen Burrow do that, where he's like hits that back foot and goes. Yeah, I'm surprised he wanted that so bad to Higgins. When you've got safety help over the top, plus he's shaded inside, and you're running a curl, I mean, you're asking for that to be a very hard grab. I was critical of Higgins. I actually put that more now on the offense and Burrow.
Yep,
yeah.
Finally.
So I'm assuming, yep. So they switched it. The safeties are showing 2 safeties at the snap. This used to fuck Dalton up so much. This is why I was highly critical. It doesn't mess Burrow up as much, but you're seeing this. So you're like, okay, middle of the field. Nope. Hit the boundary. Bang. Like, that's how fast you have. You have 1 second to say, okay, safety switch, go. Let's watch the O-line here. How's the pocket? Oh, paused it for me on the pocket here. He's got to absorb this bull rush here. I don't want it to pause it for me. Let's watch Jonah absorb this bull rush. Yep, does his job. It's actually the inside that actually gets to him a little bit. Inside rushers. Give him a little bump. But we'll take that. We'll take pass interference anytime down the field. Anytime you get one-on-one. That's why we were clamoring for more deep shots earlier in the year. Like,
yeah,
you can get penalties. Like, take that.
For those of you watching live, if you got questions for Joe, send them in. We'll get to them.
Are they on YouTube? Are these questions?
They're all YouTube questions. All
Gotcha.
YouTube questions.
Gotcha. So he ends up cutting this back all the way. Yep, reading him. Hurst doesn't get a good block. Higgins doesn't get to his man again. Let's see. Hurst says, oh, it's Clowney. That's why he struggled with that. And then Higgins has to get the safety. Oh, he got him. Yeah, good block there.
Do you want questions that regard to the trade deadline?
Anything. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Let's see here. This is from Andrew again. He says, do you feel like not making a move today is punting on the season?
I don't. It's how the Bengals operate. Like, had they have traded guys, because I even mentioned maybe they should start trading some guys that probably won't be here, then I would wonder if they were punting on the season. But them not doing anything isn't an indictment on how they view the rest of the year, because that I never expected them to do anything. You know what I'm saying, Nick? Like, yeah. Had they have made a move, I'd be like, oh, they want to get back into this. But them doing what they normally do is not a problem with me.
Do you think them not trading for a receiver makes you think that Jamar's closer than, and that's why they didn't put him on IR?
No, because even the opposite of Awuzie going out for the year, they knew this last night. You know, they would have traded for a corner. Sidney Jones got released from the Seahawks. I guarantee they tried to trade him before releasing him. You don't release a guy in trade deadline day unless you tried to trade that guy for a 7th round pick. Bengals didn't do that. Now you're going to subject them to waivers. So it's just how they operate. They value their draft picks a little bit too much. And they'd rather that guy go through waivers, and if they get him, they get him. But then they get to keep their 7th round pick. I actually like this play a lot. The Bengals, one of the things I hated about, excuse me, their jet motion is they would snap the ball. Maybe it's a good time to draw. I've been forgetting to do that. So this running back's coming, or this wide receiver's coming across. They would a lot of times snap it after he's passed right here. And maybe that can help you get guys to overrun a little bit. But I think when you snap it as he's coming across, that's how you get this guy to overrun. That's how you get this guy to overrun. Let's see if we can.
Yeah, if you wait, they know it's not going to him.
Exactly. So like now they're like, yeah, it might go to him. And they didn't fall for it. So I'm fucked up. But at least this cutback hole, I mean, if anything, it made 44 move. So it ended up just being a good block. How did he get there? Let me see this. Is the tight end coming across? Does Wilcox come across? That might be the other part that they're doing here. So they've got 2 actions.
I think he does pull, yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yep.
Well, he gets caught up, though.
He does get caught up. See, I think that was what it was supposed to be the next blocker over here. I want to watch Kappa and Volson. Yep, so Kappa pulls again. Bang, seals his guy off. They got a lot of action going on in that run, and I appreciate that for a team that gets called bland a lot, and I don't disagree. But
yeah, if he doesn't get caught up, though, he gets over to that backer who trips up Pirine.
Yeah, I think so. And again, here we're running with Pirine. But at least he hits a hole. They got a blitz. This is the
run the ball. See,
all right, let's go back here. I want to see what's going on downfield. They're showing 2 safeties, but already it looks like this guy's coming up and this guy's going to take the deep. Let's see if that's what happens. Yep, that's what happens. So middle of the field is closed. I don't know what's happening on this bottom receiver. We'll let it play out. But we've got a slot fade for Boyd, and this safety is not even. He must be reading Burrow's eyes and seeing him break. We're gonna have to watch protection clearly. So we got Higgins, looks like he's curling. Yep. So that would have been open too. I think that's where he was going with the ball.
Oh man, Boyd's open.
Bang. Yeah, Boyd's open. You'd like to hit that shot to Boyd, but you know what? I think the safety is reading Burrow's eyes completely, and Burrow's looking to come back and hit Higgins on this. And I think he would have hit him. We've seen that connection plenty of times. So let's watch the blitz and the pass protection here. So they're not showing it pre-snap. Oh, these guys are starting to lean. You see their knees buckle. You see that step there. Yep. So 44, Sione Takitaki, who had a great game. And they just lost a lot of linebackers for him to have a step up like that and play this type of game. You got Kappa losing some leverage on this side. These guys look fine so far. Damn. Yeah, he hits that back foot. He's just getting up. Yeah, you probably could 51 spying him. Yeah, you've got to hold this longer. Mixon, really, that's what it comes down to. He instantly feels that these guys are rushing upfield, especially on this side. They must be like rushing upfield on one side and then trying to undercut on the other side. Yeah, 2 hands are on the ball. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. If he could have stepped up cleanly, if Mixon could hold that guy a little bit longer, he hits Higgins, no problem, and it's a nice, step up and throw. But God damn it, why doesn't he fall on this ball too? Sorry for my language, guys. But so bang, let's get this block. All right, you blocked with no arms, so he just swim moves you and gets around. Fine. But at the very least, I'm an athlete. I'm being too mean. Okay, you've got this now for sure. Like, yeah, you missed it on that first bounce. Fumbles are weird. The ball's shaped weird. You've got it now for sure. One hand scoop it in. No, you do not. He completely rolled over the ball. Okay. I don't want to bash Mixon too much. The entire team's not playing well. It's not just Mixon. And they get the ball back at the 49. They had their chances on this field position early in the game here. Quick check down to Mixon, but let's guess. What do we want to guess? It's cover 2. They look like they're quickly rotating into one safety. Nope, they're doing the exact opposite. Cover 2, Tampa 2, get your check down. Bang. That's what that was. So you're wondering when he gets these check downs so quick, it's exactly what's happening in the back half. It's either do I have a target in the middle of the field? If I don't, then I'm checking it down. And they do not have enough targets in the middle of the field. Hey, I mean, like, you could probably hit Hurst on this if you wanted to. Let's watch Hurst route. I think he's gonna attack this guy and then get underneath. Yeah, but probably essentially the same thing. No, maybe it would have been a little
Would have been more yards.
Yeah, it would have been a couple more. And Hurst has been running tough after the catch, too. His average isn't great. I think it's like 31st in the league amongst tight ends, but his bang. Here's Hurst down the seam. As we're talking shit about Hurst, here he comes. All right, so what do we got? They look like they're showing 2 safeties deep. Looks like they're sticking with it. They are. Tampa 2. He's going to open up towards the 2 receiver side, this guy right here. So this guy's going to run. The Tampa 2 linebacker here is going to run. First, he's going to open up to where there's more receivers. So you got 2 receivers to the side, and then you got, I want to say, a receiver and a tight end this way. He's going to stay as deep as the deepest guy. So currently it's Boyd up the seam. So he's going to stay with Boyd. That's why you'd like to have a faster slot guy against Tampa 2 and cover 2, because you could really like stretch that guy out and get this guy down there. But it's a great way. He's going to open up towards 2 receivers to come back and hit this tight end right there. And you even have the check down. So like I said, you either want middle of the field or check down. And they had 2 here. They're ready for the Tampa 2. So that's a good play call. Watch protection. Weapon the Collins there, fell on the ground.
Volson was the highest graded lineman last night.
I believe he was, yes.
How do you feel like, we're 8 games in?
Yeah.
Is he getting better?
Yeah, I think so. Now we have to worry about the rookie wall coming from a small school. But yeah, we're at the point now where I'm like, he's fine. He's a 4th-round rookie. So this is like as good as you could expect from a 4th-round rookie. You remember Clint Bowling ended up being a great player for them. Terrible as a rookie. And he's coming from Georgia. So this is as good as you can expect. And he's just okay right now. He's just serviceable. Bottom tier starter type guard. But that's okay for what the expectation should be. Now we want to know for the last 9 games, does he hit a rookie wall? Or can he be a very good starter? Can he be a good starter? Like, what's his upside now? And that's the question. Man, Jonah's real pissed off on this one. This ends up being another. Yeah, I want to see what he thought was and why he's so mad. Jesus Christ. Again, sorry. You got an out and up. They wanted to hit this out and up here. Damn. Because as soon as he runs the out, this guy like turns his attention inside to the middle of the field to protect for it. And that's how you get Higgins 1-on-1. I don't think he's open, to be honest with you. So maybe they don't hit it. Maybe it ends up being a back shoulder. I'm not sure anyone's open. They're pissed off, but who's this backside receiver? Is it?
I thought Boyd might have been open there late.
Yeah, maybe coming across, but he's waiting.
Right.
So maybe, but I want to see from the end zone angle. Maybe they'll give us an idea. Focus on Jonah and then see what the routes are real quick. Man, he is wide out here. Look how wide Hurst is. And then gets a chip. That's what Mike Sands, if you guys follow him on Twitter, good film analyst guy and all-around football head. But, like, block once and then have him come out and block again. So it ends up being a twist anyways. But, man.
I mean, Garrett's not even on the field here.
No, this is the one from Isaiah Thomas at Oklahoma.
Yeah. And you're thinking, oh, okay, well, all right. We might have a little bit of a chance. He's been eating you up all night. Now the backup comes in.
Damn. So he gives him the long arm and then pulls it away. This is the move as a pass rusher. If you can give a long arm, and remember we used to watch Carl Lawson, and he would just jackknife these guys, right, with that arm and just get under and just lift these guys up. So he's going to show you the long arm, and what it's going to do to Jonah is he's going to brace for it. He's going to sink all of his weight, sink his ass, and lean into it to absorb this contact. We've mentioned a couple of bull rushes already in this game, right, of guys trying to use power moves on Jonah. So here he is. He's going to try and catch and then sink his ass. So that's why his weight starts dropping, his head starts dropping, and really what Thomas is going to do is pull that arm away. It looks like so simple, but that's why he's like, fuck, I fucked up. Because he looks like he's giving you this, and then so you're bracing for this power move, and he just pulls it away and attacks the edge. And really, you got to be more patient. Like, what's the answer for that? Is just continue to be patient and be confident that you can anchor even if you're not the first guy making contact. Like Willie Anderson would, now he should be a Hall of Famer, but he would engulf that power, right? And sit down and just eat up all that energy, eat that force. And Jonah probably doesn't feel confident doing that. And that's how you end up susceptible to those fake power moves.
No. So this is second half now, right?
This should be second half now. Oop.
And
So
he missed a field goal in the first half. I mean, that was just a microcosm of the night.
It was.
Him missing two kicks.
Yeah.
Huber's first point was a shank.
And the extra point on defense where they're got 12 guys on the field, and then they go for 2 and get it easily.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Run here. What's happening?
I'm sure Simmons was not happy today.
Oh, I'm sure. Especially because Evans also had a kick where he only gets like the 15 or 16 or something, right?
Yeah.
So he's reading here. You got dual blocks on these defensive tackle, and it's like middle linebacker and Mixon, and it's like a waiting game. Like, can I get Kappa to come up? Can I manipulate that linebacker a little bit? Can I look? Can I press the hole? Can I move him just enough to give Kappa enough time and then cut off of it? And like, he's still like, can I get him to now? Because the linebacker has his eyes on this side of Kappa's helmet. If he was on this side, he would hit this hole. But you kind of like, man, get skinny between that hole. You know what I mean? You ever hear the phrase get skinny and just hit it a little bit harder? Like, either you're going to hit this or this just feels like run through that arm tackle situation. Let Kappa block him and run through that arm. Instead, it's 3.5, whatever it was. 4 yards. So, yeah. I mean, what am I complaining about? You'll take a 4-yard run when this offense is the way it is. We've turned a 30-minute film into an hour easily already. We're going to finish it, though. Damn. So they stay in cover 2 here, or do they rotate? Let's see, because he gets it checked down super fast. So they rotate. He comes down, but they got the slant here. It's why. So anytime this might be man coverage, let me see. Slant flats are a common combo. So you got the slant here, flat here. And if that's the safety that's supposed to come up and take, yeah, it is. So like this is exactly, this is Burrow processing at lightning fast speed. He sees that safety come down. He can't get over to Mixon in time. He's got to get this ball out as fast as possible and get it to him. And he's actually trying to lead him upfield. Like he sees Mixon, hey, these guys are running into each other, or he's not going to be able to get there. Your flare out, instead of looking back at me this way, almost like turn and get ready to go upfield. Mixon turns, can't make this catch. Now, would he make this guy miss and get the first down? Who's to say? But we'd hope your starting running back would.
We probably should have turned the other way, right?
Yeah, like instantly, like should have like started almost flaring upfield and at least turning that way. Like, hey, this guy's not going to come get over here. Instead, I mean, they always turn that way. It would be like a communication, like a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase type thing of like, we know what we got here. Let's alter it a little bit. I think we got paused. So 3rd down. Are you guys liking this stuff in the comments? You can give a thumbs up, a yes or a no. Because I haven't watched film yet. So maybe I should have watched it first and like had like specific plays for you guys. Or do you like just seeing it for the first time with me and going through my process? Normally I would be writing plays down or writing situations down, maybe like things I want to look for, like how often did they stay in cover 2 or rotate it. Man, so this is a super late rotation. He's going to come down. He's coming all the way in the middle of the field. And they've got nothing to block. Damn. Probably got Boyd here. This is on 3rd and 6. That's what they do up front here. Because they're not great. Then it looks like no one's getting great separation there. But so we got a twist already coming here. He's going to come down. He's going to come across. So 5 versus 5 plus the running back. If he stays in, he doesn't. He goes out. So it's 5 versus 5. Everyone has to win cleanly. 54 coming all the way across. Jonah gets bull rushed inside and disengaged. So he was thinking, I'm going to slide left and either hit this guy, or I'm thinking he's coming back to Boyd up here on the out route. And when he slides left, there's nothing there for him. That just sucks. That's just Jonah getting beaten and good game up front for the linebacker to come all the way across. Because even if Jonah doesn't get beaten, 54 is probably right in Burrow's face.
You want another question, Joe?
Sure. What do you got?
This is from Chris. A quick question. I hear a lot of Bengals fans say we have 3 wide receiver ones. Given how our given how our receivers, Higgins especially, didn't get separation or beat their one-on-ones most of the night, is that realistic? I think you just answered that question.
It's not, and it's gonna be like a longer rant, but I'm gonna let this play unless I see something super interesting.
He also adds, or is the O-line so poor we can't see them winning on the outside?
Yeah, that's fair to bring up. There are other factors then, like because you see teams with less get guys open, right? Obviously, like we look at the Ravens somehow get their guys open all the time, and they don't have even a Higgins or a Boyd. They think Rashad Bateman can be that, but I'm not going to turn this into that rant. Point being is the difference between a true number one receiver and Higgins and Boyd is evident. Right? Like Jamar Chase is special. AJ Green, Chad Ochocinco, like those guys can't be covered even when they're covered. They're a nightmare for other teams. And a lot of that to me is speed and quickness. And I know like Green wasn't the fastest dude, but he was fast enough for that 6'4" frame. When you look at Jamar Chase able to take a slant to the house or a comeback or a stop route or a back shoulder and go 60 yards, no one else on this team is doing that. In fact, if you just paused it here and said, Mike Thomas is a 4.55 guy, Trenton Irwin's a 4.6, Hayden Hurst is decent speed, but a 4.68 guy, Boyd's a 4.56, Higgins is a 4.54, even Chris Evans is a 4.52, Mixon, they're all 4.5s at best. That is not scary for anyone. Like even all the depth chart guys, Thomas, Irwin, Taylor, they're all slow. Speed is still the major difference for a number one type receiver. And I know speed isn't everything, but because we've had John Ross here, but like that's why speed still gets coveted as highly as it does in the draft, because there are so many other guys that are similar to Boyd and Higgins that can win and be good players. But if you only have them and you don't have any other speed on the field, it heightens it. It turns it up completely. It makes it so much harder for these guys to get open and get deep. It's my major issue with the Bengals. Talent. We were like, they got all this talent. Yeah, but they don't have any speed without Jamar Chase. And that's a big thing. They're really not threatening teams the way they should. So I don't think Higgins and Boyd, I never thought Boyd was a number one. If you're going to be a slot number one, it's got to be like a Cooper Kupp that the whole offense functions through you and you are just extremely good, super good route runner, crazy good hands. Just those guys are super rare, right? Like Boyd's not that. He's not crazy rare. He's a very good player. Here he is getting open as we say this, right? So what do we get here? Man, I'm surprised this. So they end up with 3 routes going over the middle, and this is a middle field closed defense. It just Burrow buying time. This is Burrow being Burrow. Let the defense. That's the thing about zone defense. Longer you can hold it, more spaced out they get. And then with Higgins, I just don't think Higgins is quick enough, fast enough to be like a true number one. You wouldn't design 15 targets for Higgins because you'd be running digs, comebacks, couple verticals, but you're not going to give him a screen. You may give him a slant because of his size. That's not even Boyd. That was Irwin on that one. Nice. But I want to see Burrow in the pocket here real quick. But you're not like running the entire full route tree and expecting Higgins to win one-on-one in every situation. So I don't think they have 3 number ones. I think they have a great complement of receivers other than having the correct depth receivers. They just don't have enough speed there to really threaten. None of these guys are outside guys. And they've got Trenton Irwin out here outside. Up here. Like that's not what you want.
And one thing, if you remove one of them from the equation,
yeah,
it's a game changer, right? Because
for sure.
You take away T, right? We saw it earlier in the year.
Oh, yeah.
Now Chase is getting doubled left and right.
Yeah, Chase has to be on top A+ type games in order for it to not be an effect on him, which is hard to be consistently like that.
Right. You lose Chase like we did last night, and you look at this and say, yeah, well, I think we all expected, we've got 3 number ones. No, it was very evident that they definitely missed him last night. And even if you lose Boyd for a game.
Oh, yeah, it'll have an effect.
Who's the slot guy?
Right. It would be Trent Taylor. And which is fine. He's had some production in this league, but he's not Boyd, you know. Nice quick check down. See, like this is when the check downs are working. There's Mixon, maybe his best check down of the night. So we got cover 2 again. He's going to open up again. Tampa 2 linebacker opening up towards the other side. So is this the same route? This is the exact same play we saw earlier. Did we skip backwards? We did not. So he flips it this time. Okay. So quickly he made an adjustment. I'm pointing to this linebacker. We just broke down how this worked earlier and how he like, okay, I'm deeper than Boyd. They're not actually coming back to Boyd. You sit on top of him. I'm actually going to flip my hips back. He's ready to like intercept this ball, I bet. Yeah, he jumped right into it. 100%. So, and I said before, they could have checked it down last time. Mixon was right here. Instead, they flare Mixon out to the outside. Same instance. He has a lot of room. He's uncovered underneath. So, great chess match there. The defense is like, all right, we're going to adjust for that seam throw. And Burrow adjusts right it back and gets the check down and picks up the first down. So this is fun. Yeah, they're all over the seam throw. Watch both linebackers. Even Taki 44 here. They like instantly recognize the play. Yep. They are not letting this happen. Even the safety, they're all with it. That's how you got to adjust. You can't just keep going to the same thing, right?
No.
The other point I was going to make is you can do less with receiver if you're not an offense that expects them to win one-on-one consistently. Like the Bengals offense is not one that's scheming guys open, right? They're not a high play action team that's going to get easy throws or get guys open. Like the Browns offense last night. They're getting guys open and there's no one covering these guys in some of these windows, right? They're just, you're kind of like, who is even supposed to be covering Cooper on that play or whoever it may be. But that's not the Bengals offense. They're going to ask their guys to win one-on-one matchups. And when you do that and you lose a Jamar Chase, that's a true number 1 type guy. It highlights Boyd and Higgins and their weaknesses. Whereas if they were a heavy play action team, they'd be perfectly fine. Like you'd be perfectly fine with Higgins and Boyd and then adding like some 3rd round fast Mike Wallace type receiver, if you remember him from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like that would be fine. You'd be perfectly fine with that if that was your style of offense. That's not the Bengals style of offense. So it really heightens their need for premium receivers. And that's why I'm like, even if you've got all 3 of these guys next year, which is the expectation, like 3rd round, take a receiver because you can't afford to lose that talent by one of these guys missing time. Quarterback sneak.
If you got questions in the chat, hit us up.
Yep.
We'll ask Joe here.
Empty. Mixon's to the right here. He chips, helps Collins out. This is the Boyd touchdown. I'm going to go back and watch this for a second. We've got 5 minutes left in this film, so this is obviously the end of the game where they start to muster a little bit here. This is a good pocket. We just saw Collins getting help too, and he's getting his ass beat by Myles Garrett. I think that's Garrett. It's not Garrett. Cover 2. So you could hit Irwin coming back on the dig. This would normally be Higgins, I think, running these dig routes. But because of the pocket being the way it is, he's got to step up and get through there. He's jumping down on the underneath flat guy. He's kind of being held. His eyes are in the backfield now. His eyes are in the backfield. And that's how Boyd just kind of, look at him. He's even looking like, okay, where are these defenders? You've got to like feel the void as like the slot guy. And I think he was lined up wide here, but he still has that feeling of, okay, get to the most open spot. Like if he stayed or even curled in here or started getting closer to the sideline, he starts giving himself more and more room. Where's the most area between these 2 guys? It's probably like right here. And that's exactly where he gets to.
He's fortunate though.
He is, because it got tipped.
Yeah.
And they showed a great angle of it. Martin Emerson was a 3rd round pick at corner there, who's actually having a really good rookie year. Bengals could have drafted him instead of Cam Taylor-Britt if they wanted to. We're not at that point yet, but you can see, I think he was looking for that backside dig. We're not going to be able to get a good angle on it. Mixon, was he pointing to the
he's pointing to Boyd.
Yeah, that's what I think he is.
Throw it to Boyd.
Good play by Emerson, though. Just bad luck for him. Good luck for the Bengals. So with 8 minutes left in the game here, 32-6. Fun. I would assume they're just going to stay in a cover 2 shell. Let's see. Yep, open to that side of the field. You got to make a guy miss, Mixon. Check down is instant. And you can't make anyone miss. Gain of 2. So again, we're seeing all these checkdowns. If people are wondering why were they calling so many or getting to so many, it's cover 2. And like Taki's having an amazing game, but instantly he's like, "Yep, check down. I'm gonna run and go tackle Mixon. I'm gonna be right on it." Pew! Even with the candy in front of him of who is that? 88? Is that Hurst? Yeah, Hurst is like supposed to slow him down at least a half a second. That's when like Burrow's like too quick sometimes, right, to get to that. Because almost if like you wait a quarter of a second, maybe that tight end just slows down Taki a little bit. This one I was probably drunk around this time because I don't remember the play, but I remember the flag. Oh, Jesus. Let's highlight Jonah versus Myles Garrett because that's fun. But look, way out here, right? Is he supposed to chip? Like, he is way out there, man. Spin move again.
Ooh.
Ball's got to be out.
I will say that I have not seen the Higgins touchdown yet, so this will be my first time seeing it.
That's actually obviously the best play of the night. It was pretty fun. Would you check out in the fourth quarter?
I checked out, I think it was when they scored to make it 32.
Okay. So that was about, because it's about the 8-minute mark is when they got the ball back here. I think it's right off of the Browns score. Cover 2 shell again. Yeah. And they're like playing like quarters on that side of the field, half man maybe. Did you see how quickly that corner bails out there? Is that what happened on that? So these, like I said, these little outs and curls and things, we see Boyd hit them. We see Hurst hit it here if it's a cover 2 on the side, but it looks like he's going all the way back. This guy's going in the quarters right away. So that's a great job to hit that. Again, Burrow just processes super quick. That's why there's like half of these throws. You couldn't even get pressure if you wanted to, if you were a D-line here. I mean, the ball's out so fast. Pew! That's the sound the ball makes when it comes out fast. I think we should be coming up on the Higgins touchdown. Ball in the 41. Anytime between the 40s, especially on this side of the field towards the end zone, Bengals like to take shots.
Yep. He's got one-on-one.
He does. And he mossed him. I'm going to go back so we can see the play here. So they're looking like they're going to show 2 safeties. They must rotate right out of it. Yep, he's sitting down on him. It's got to be quarters again. So they took the shot earlier in the game from almost the same exact spot. Remember, they were like the 36 on the first quarter. So it's the same exact play. They get the same exact defense. They always hear about like red zone packages and how they work on it. I think they work on like shot area plays and what to expect from the defense as well, because they seem to get what they want out of those. It's how they end up getting a lot of these plays. So I wonder if he runs it out again. Yep. And if you didn't see it from the TV copy, I got a mosquito in here. I thought they're dead by now. If you didn't see it from the TV copy, Burrow actually gets his feet taken out, and the way he throws this ball, it's pretty impressive. But Higgins mosses this guy, and hopefully we'll get a good shot from the tight end angle. So, yes, the same exact play. Had they hit that one in the first quarter, maybe it's a different game.
Maybe, yeah.
But, again, you can see what they wanted to do. Let's see if Jonah – oh, man, Garrett falls, gets up, gives an inside-outside move. Yeah, Burrow actually hits Jonah's foot, it looks like.
Interesting. Somebody saying in here in the chat, I can't remember who it was, said that the Browns fans are complaining of pass interference. I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either on the TV copy. Especially after this game. Like, how are you complaining about pass interference after not getting the call earlier in the game?
Were you surprised that Burrow and company was still in this late?
I was. I get it. Like, I think the competitive spirit, and they're kind of pissed off and mad about it. Man, they're running cover 3 here. Man, you just don't have enough time because, like, you would love to hit him deep. He's sitting in this void. He could just turn around. I think it's got to be Higgins. Just like sit. Yep, come back. Like, how do you? Man, Burrow did not see him. He throws it away. I wonder if he's got enough space. Is that Garrett like closing in on him and he can't actually set his feet? Maybe that's the case here. Let's watch Garrett on that side versus Jonah. See if he disengages real quick and gets double chipped. That's what I like to see. So he just cuts across. It's pausing at me here. Let's go back. So he just cuts across and outruns him. He's just a freak. But that's Boyd, actually. Man, well, that's 26. Boyd, of course.
Williams might have been.
Maybe. What do you think underneath?
Just look just to his left. He comes in late.
Yeah, but I think even on the end zone copy, he's up here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Maybe right. Maybe he gets hit as he catches. I think it's more than enough. I'm surprised.
Maybe it's just a risky throw.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe he just thinks like, yeah, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna have another. I'm already having that type of game. I'm not even gonna try it. Even the way Boyd looks, I think he thinks he should have got that ball. But of course it's Boyd, right? Because he is that guy to find the soft spots and zones when things aren't going perfect. Got another sack here. Because of course we do.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. If you didn't see this one, I think it's the worst one of the night. This guy's Taven Bryan, my. I think it was. Taven Bryan, near 99, former Jags first-round pick. So it's like, is this supposed to be a screen? Because they release.
Oh, yeah.
And they're coming out. Taki again is all over this shit. Like, he's like, oh, yeah, it's a screen. But, like, how do you get sacked on a screen like this? Like, they're just all out of sync. And I feel like everyone here should be maybe 2 steps out wider and further into this play. Like, you don't see sacks on screens. And Jonah's like, what the fuck's happening? He's pointing at someone. I want to see. Let me see it again one more time. Not that I want to see the carnage, but we're only got a couple plays left here. That might even actually, we got a minute 18. That might be it, actually. Yeah, he just ran around him. Like, interesting. So I do get the ball back one more time. Underneath to Mixon. I think that's it. They get a few yards. So if you don't have any other questions, we ran a little bit long. We went a little bit over an hour, which is fine. I'll do that. That's simple. And let me know if you guys like this style. You get to see all the plays. You can pause them yourself and dissect them a little bit more if you want. I know everyone doesn't have access to film. So, enjoy it and use it for yourself. But, yeah, stinker of a game, right? But I even think even in that, there's some fun. That's right. I believe this was a 4th down play. There was one more play. But even in the stinker, I think there's some fun narratives of, like, coming back to a couple plays in this game, seeing how the Browns adjust, seeing how the Bengals adjust. I like that kind of stuff. I mean, the guy's open here, right? You just either got to be a harder throw in there, but it's good play by the defensive back. So it is what it is. Nick, if you don't have anything else to bring up or add or questions for us, then I think we'll wrap this show up. And that's Bengals on the Brain for week 8. I always messed something up. Last week I said the Bengals play the Browns on Thanksgiving. Clearly I meant Halloween, but who knows what goes on in my brain to my mouth sometimes. So that's it for this week's episode. Hit the like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff so I don't have to keep saying it. That would be great. For Nick Superling, I'm Joe Goodberry, and this has been Bengals on the Brain. Thanks for joining us.